Alright, testing the audio, making sure everything is up and ready to go. We are getting ready to do. Alright, testing the audio, making sure everything sounds good on YouTube. Hit refresh on Kick. Well, Kick has to be started. Start the stream on Kick. And then test the audio, see what we got here. And after that, I will know. So, find out what's going on here. Sometimes Twitch causes me issues. So, let me, there it goes. Okay, the audio sounds good. Hit refresh again. Sometimes it kicks in, but okay, the audio sounds good on Rumble. Now I've got to go to DLive. Check DLive out. Before I sign in, I've got to hit mute. Keep forgetting to do that. I hate getting other people's content on my streams. I think that's the one thing I hate the most. And it doesn't even really have anything to do with copyright or anything. It's just, once you've been doing this stuff for so long, it's just, you don't like it. It's not cool. Okay. Censorship sex. Get their stuff set up. Oh, it's taking DLive the amount of time that it's taking for it to Alright, now log in. First one is Wednesday. Censorship sucks. And we got that set up. There we go. Now, before I do video capture, I want to check and make sure my stream is on DLive. And go from there. Censorship sucks. There we go. Okay, so DLive is up and going. And go. And now Twitch is up. I believe Kick is up. And here we go. We have Censorship sucks. Or Dragus production started up, so I can get capture, window capture. We should be on our way. Okay, I'm mute
All right,
now.
hello everybody, and welcome in. It is Wednesday, 17 September 2025, and I am setting up for the Censorship Sucks Roundtable radio show pre-show, along with all the other shows tonight that I have. Right after Censorship Sucks radio show, I got Jack Carey with Paranormal Intelligence Agency. Oh, yeah. And then to finish out the night, I will have Nancy Planetta in the Vixen's Vault. Hope you all are ready and locked in and got your drinks and food. Or just sit there listening to us while you game. That's fine too. We appreciate each and every one of you. Hope you had a great week, even with all the news and stuff that has happened over the past couple weeks. You know, we understand these things. So sit back, relax while I take and get everything up and rolling like a steamroller. Everything's looking good so far. So far, so good. That's the way we like it. All right. That's up. That's up. Let me get that up. Welcome in, wherever you're at, wherever you may be. Thank you for tuning in tonight and watching us. Gonna have some great stuff coming up later. I am sure of it. From John and the crew to Jack with news and information from him as well. And Nancy to finish it out. Give me a couple more minutes and then I will ring-a-ling John and the rest of the crew over with Censorship Sucks. Let me ring-a-ling-ling him right now. John and Barry. I don't think Barry's going to be here just yet, but you know, hey.
Hey, what up?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How you doing?
Pretty good.
You're front and center on the camera today, man.
Huh?
You're front and center on your camera today.
Oh yeah. Hi, Nina.
Hi.
Oh, and he's.
I'm taking your.
Hi, Nina.
Oh shit. Hi.
How are you?
Right here. The keys are right there. All right, if you need them.
I'm trying to wave, but I don't see myself on the camera.
You're not going to. My head's in the way. There.
Oh, yeah. He's here. Hi.
Hi.
That's my roommate.
Oh, cool.
Okay, we're going. Zeus is gonna stay with me.
Oh, I got Zeus. Yeah, Zeus.
He's mad. Look at him. He's mad.
Oh, I'm sure he's mad.
Do you
What?
need anything from the store? Do you need?
I need milk and a Gatorade or a aloe. Would you please?
Mhm. And food.
Yeah, I don't
But
have
can
it.
you wait a little while?
Yeah.
So I can go do what I need to do.
Yeah.
All right. Love you. Bye.
All right, bye.
Give me kisses, Papa. You be a good boy.
Yeah,
for me,
yeah.
Okay?
Oh well, you know.
I love you.
Oh.
Thank you, Mark.
Yep.
Well, I just talked to Brent about a half hour ago.
How's he doing?
He's all right.
All right.
I mean, he sounds a lot better than I think he is. You know what I mean?
Well, considering the situation and all that, hey,
Yeah.
I understand, and I got that music in there for you too. All right.
Oh, in the break? Okay, great.
Yeah. It will play before the PSA. So when we go to break, it'll be the first thing it's played instead of the Old Republic, Protect Freedom. All right.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
Just to give you a heads up on that, and then for your other break, I have set up what is it? Bruce Springsteen, Born in the USA, and then right after that, I have The Cure, Just Like Heaven.
Oh.
And then to finish this out for your last break, Joy Division, Transmission.
Always love me some Joy Division.
I
man.
do too. As I get older, when they first came out, I really wasn't into them. But as I get older, I'm like, man, that was a great group.
Yeah.
I'm like, why did I overlook a group like that back in the day? I'm like, man, they had some really good, and the vocals are awesome too. It's kind of like listening to The Cure or The Cult.
Yeah.
They're another.
And it's amazing they went on to become New Order.
Yeah. Simply amazing.
Like just complete kind of transformation in their sound. But and again, New Order tunes. I kind of put them in a box at some point. I just heard too much of it.
Yeah.
And now I go back and listen to some of it, and it's like, damn, this is a really thumping tune.
What was that other? There was a band back in the day too called the Outfield. I used to really cringe when they came on. I'm like, now, Josie's going to vacation far away. I'm like, man, that's great stuff now.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like Oasis, man.
Yeah, like Oasis and Yes. Oh my God! I have a good
Yes
friend.
is great.
Yeah, I have a good friend. His name's Jeff Silman, and he does radio shows too. But he's a psychic. He's been on like Coast to Coast and that. But I've been friends with him for years because we connected up because we were at a station together for a long time, and he's a huge Yes fan. This guy, man. He'd go over to Europe to go see them. I'm like, them and ABBA. Remember them?
Yeah.
Oh man, I still can't do ABBA, but or ABBA, whatever you want to call them. But
there's people in Sweden that like have played ABBA music like every day of their lives.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me fix the OBS so folks can see what's going on. I still have like the opening banner up.
Okay.
Let me check to make sure our OBS stuff is, and no one can really see us anyways. Because I have, that all covered up. Like you were saying, hey Mark, I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's,
Yeah, but Brent just doesn't want the show to be all about him,
Yeah.
It's just, because I'm like, I gave him an out. I'm like, if you just want to come on and like say some sort of a tribute and then, tap out, that's totally cool. I get it.
Yeah. But,
But he's like, no, I want to. It's like, we can do the whole show. I look forward to it. I want to. So that's good.
There we go.
He also said he's been inundated with media requests, and he's said no to every one of them.
Really?
So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are special in that way, and
Yeah.
I'm super honored that we have people like him. All the people. Oh, before I forget, that Rick guy, he needs to reschedule.
Rick. Oh, I know.
Okay.
My God, that guy's turned into like.
He's like
I don't even know
he's
if
like
it's
all
worth it.
over the place. But
Yeah, now he wants like the end of October. It's like, dude, the end of October? Are you serious? You want me to like jump through hoops right now to like get it done? Like, just call me mid-October and ask me then.
yeah, and
You know? Like,
I believe that you will have Angel from Beam on the 8th of next month.
of October.
Yeah,
Okay.
which isn't too far away, but yeah, it is a couple weeks away.
Okay.
Well, it's a
That's
month
Wednesday?
away. It's a month away, but still, I mean, for someone like him,
Well,
who is
2 weeks.
super busy
Yeah.
schedule and that, I,
Yeah.
I understand having to take and go out that far.
Yeah, and I get it with this doctor guy as well, but I just,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not convinced a lot of people that do that kind of stuff. It's not all just smoke and mirrors, you know?
Yeah, but Angel has a lot of stuff that's coming up in Beam and going out, which is a
Well,
lot
Angels,
of
I'm
things.
not talking
A
about
lot
Angel.
of things have been built up in Beam, which is really nice. So
Oh, yeah?
I'm sure he's going to talk all about that and maybe some other projects that he's got going on with it too.
And that's a Wednesday, the 8th?
Yeah, Wednesday the 8th. I will confirm that with you later on. Once, yeah, he was like, "Is it a Friday?" I'm like, "No, it's on a Wednesday." we only, it's radio. I mean, I don't have Friday slots.
Yeah, Fridays are probably like the worst day for radio, huh?
No, actually, the worst days for radio are the days that I pick to stream. Absolute
Oh, really?
worst. And I do that on purpose.
Sunday and Wednesday.
Sunday and Wednesday are the absolute lowest days of the week to take and broadcast on terrestrial radio. Because everybody's like sick of everything that's been going on, and then they're thinking about, man, how do I get through the weekend? Like,
Yeah.
and then it starts to pick
Well-
up again Friday, a little bit, and then Saturday afternoons, Fridays, Saturday afternoons, Mondays and Tuesdays are usually, hey, that's the hot stuff. What's going on? As far as current event stuff, the other, anything else can go anytime basically. But yeah.
Yeah, I remember working in restaurants when I was growing up, and I was surprised to learn Wednesday night was one of the busiest nights of the week. Because it's hump day. It's just the middle of the week. People go out to eat.
Yeah, but
So I imagine that would affect radio too, because
yes,
they're not.
because
so,
it used to. Now a lot of these places have their own station, that they pipe in their own music and things like that. Or they're, what do? They have like a subscription to like some of these, like Spotify or something like that, and they pipe in that. Walmart even has its own station, you know what I'm saying? So, the days, except for like the local, and your local and regional places don't normally do that. They'll pick up what's going on off a radio station because, hey, station's probably going to give them a deal for doing local business and things like that on their ads. So hey, if you play, we can lower the price down maybe a little bit. And that's kind of how you work it with that side. Charles, appreciate you coming in over in Kick Chat. Romnels, appreciate you too over there. Papa Pinky, all in the Kick Chat. I will be
there we go.
dropping in the shouts here in a minute. I am a little bit behind on those, so please, stick around. Oh, I was in with Jaffe last night doing World Pirate Radio, so that was kind of fun. They talked about Robert Redford, how he passed away a little bit. Def Nicky in the Kick Chat.
What's up, Barry?
Is he there?
Yeah, I see him. Just brought him in.
Okay. It's like, open the door, let me in. He'll be there
He
soon.
sent me a text asking for an invite. No, he's in
He's
the room.
already in. He's already in. He's just got to plug his headset in and, you know,
Exactly.
finish his fried bologna sandwich, I guess. If
What's up, man? How you doing?
There you are. I knew if I
What's up,
said
Barry?
something like that, you'd pop in. How's it
I can hear
going?
you. My little birdie flew over.
Birdie?
It's going well, man. I mean, you know, as well as it can be.
That's what
Considering
we got to
the thing.
tell. That's what we got to tell Yolanda. You know, hey, you need to get your shotgun out because those tinfoil birds that keep flying over break up your internet connection.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Madness CT.
Ready for
The
the show
group is
tonight?
building tonight.
And I got Brent for the
You
first
ready?
hour.
Yes.
Yes, I am. Like I said, we got Brent for the first hour.
Okay, well,
So,
good.
Yeah.
I don't know. You want to? You can hang out with us if you want.
Whatever you guys want, man. I probably wouldn't get any time to interject anyway, because Brent pretty much dominates, which is what he's supposed to do, and then
Yeah.
Yeah.
what you have time to, you barely have time to say anything. It's just kind of, I appreciate what I'm saying. I appreciate it, man. But
Yeah.
I don't think it really. I'll be listening into the whole thing. I always do, dude, and I really want to hear his heart and soul about Charlie, because I know he knew him and stuff. So I want to hear what he has to say, man. And it seems like it sort of hurts worse now. Like when I first heard about it, it just kind of, I was numb, and now it just kind of hurts more and more. But I'm optimistic with what's coming from out of it. And he asked me to put together a prayer, which I did. I put together two different options. One is just a short prayer, and the other is a short preface that kind of frames the prayer. If we go that route, it's probably 2.5 minutes. If it's the prayer, it's maybe 45 seconds to a minute, whatever you want.
No, let's do the 2.5 minute, whatever. I want you to put your heart out there, man. I wanted to give you a moment to say something heartfelt.
Yeah, I think all of us have had some time to reflect on it, and see what all does it mean, and not that we know, but definitely something good's coming, man. You can sense, man, that a fire's been lit.
All right.
There's
I'm going to go top my coffee off. I will be right back. MC Dirty Work in the D Live chat hosted in with some viewers. Thank you very much. Appreciate you.
Cool.
Yeah.
And I think the thing that kind of scares me, and I don't like to use the word scare, but concerns me, I guess I should say, is just the lunacy of the left. And maybe they're a smaller number now because this woke more people up, but the ones that haven't come to their senses seem more crazy than ever. I mean, absolutely more crazy than ever. Like they are hell bent on violence. I have no problem with it, man. They see that as a means to their agenda. Yeah. I just saw somebody talking about it where she was like, yeah, I mean, that's violence is important to any revolution. I mean, I'm like, I hope she's getting investigated by the FBI. I mean, my goodness, the things that people just say boldly on camera. That's what blows my mind. I mean, I could see somebody saying that, privately to a friend and hoping their phone wasn't spying on them. but saying it to thousands, if not 1 million or more people, that's ludicrous, man. I mean, where does this boldness come that they think they can just do that and get away with it? That's what.
Yeah. Yeah, and then scream, censorship when they lose their jobs over it. when it's really, I just don't want a vile human being working for me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, sure that hurts their customer base. So they're not fulfilling their job description, which is to serve everybody the same. And when you're saying you hate more than half of their customer base, then you can't work here.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if I don't know, if they killed Joe Biden and one of my employees was out on TikTok celebrating it, it'd be the same thing. Like, you can't do that, dude. That's disgusting.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, it's vile. I mean, yeah, you have the right to say it, but you don't have a right to the job you hold.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Well, it would be one thing if you said it to your neighbor in privacy or something, but if you say it to the whole world and your employer's customers could see that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's unacceptable.
But there's some woman in like a San Diego suburb who just went out and said the most vile things. And I read this whole article about how her business is just like, she works for her husband's electrical, company out there. Mm-hmm. And they're just getting slammed. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Just slammed. All right. What do I have? 25 articles up.
Oh, that's a lot, man.
27 for 1 hour.
You're not going to get through maybe a fourth of that if we're lucky.
I know. It's I should almost just start going through this right now and just start getting rid of a bunch of these.
Yeah, 20. It's a lot, man. A lot is happening, dude.
Yeah, there's a lot. I wish I could play all this stuff. I mean,
the best.
I could. I've got a ton of clips in here too of just people, saying violent things, horrible things, vile things, and I've got, just one clip after the other. There's been so much.
And do you really want somebody that's that vile, vulgar, disgusting, and I mean, you really want a demon literally working for you? I mean, that's what you're somebody that's going to be celebrating death, and then in many cases, encouraging it to continue.
Yeah. Oh, sure, of course.
That part is just like, I mean, and then they joke about it, man. There's some videos played, man, with people, laughing demonically and. I've never seen it. Well, I guess this is just a new round of that. We've seen it before, but this is just a different round of it. It's like these people, like there's something wrong with these people. Like seriously, they need to go.
This is a seminal event, though, dude. Like this is not like anything. I mean, you got to go back to JFK, his assassination, to really get on par with what we just saw last week.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like 9/11. It's not like anything, dude. This is so different. Rush Limbaugh died of cancer and people celebrated it. Okay, fine. But this was an assassination, man.
Oh,
he just got shot in the neck.
In the worst possible way. And, they do these assassinations in a way so that the whole world sees it, so that it demoralizes the masses. That's what they do that for. Remember, we talked about that with Trump. They wanted to blow his head off so that would be seen. And I've seen the gory version. I know you said last time I talked that you hadn't seen it, but where the blood is just like coming out. That's what they wanted children to see. And there were teachers that were making 10-year-old children watch that.
I saw that. I mean, repeatedly.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's one thing to be like, hey, this is how dangerous the world is now and how hard they'll fight against free speech. But no, he showed it as a way of saying, this is what you get. To teach him not to be fascist.
No 10-year-old child can see that over and over again and be okay. And we're supposed to protect children, not show them blood and gore and guts. That's just and it's not like it's like TV gore and guts where it's make believe. That's real.
Mm-hmm.
You're showing.
I just had a group of 10-year-olds up here just the last few days. That is young. That is young, man. 10-year-olds are young.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm sure it terrified. I'm sure that's why she got fired. The kids probably were crying and complaining to their parents, what happened. I mean, I can't even imagine, dude. I don't know what's happening, dude. It's insane. People are going like,
here's a good one. It's been announced that Governor Abbott here down in Texas has fired up to, over 100 teachers that supported that, and they're losing their teacher certificate. They won't be able to
Yeah,
teach
and that's
here,
the
and
I mean,
they will not be able to teach here in Texas anymore.
it's
That's good. That's good
one
news
thing.
for my kids.
It's one thing to be like, okay, you got fired from a Home Depot but a teacher, man, a teacher, you're teaching kids and you're writing this vile stuff on the internet, and then you go in and teach kids all day. That is unacceptable, completely unacceptable.
Hmm.
I mean, just like, no way, man. You can't get anywhere near kids
Right.
if you're that vile. And why would you want to be if you're that vile of a person?
Infuriating. It's infuriating, man. I mean, when you think
Yeah.
about it, dude, and that's another thing we have to deal with. We got to learn to, and because part of that is to get us to have that knee-jerk reaction, and it's hard not to have that because we loved and still love Charlie Kirk, and it's like, so, and he represented so much. He represented the fight. He represented people. I mean, let's just be honest, dude. He was a civil rights leader. That's what he did. When you're
Yeah.
fighting free speech, that makes you a civil rights leader.
Yeah.
So they killed him. Fascists. That's what fascists do. Fascists kill people that are civil rights leaders.
Gee, go figure.
Yes. So it's always odd, the anti-fascists, when they're the ones that are, censoring.
The most fascist, yeah.
Yeah, they're the ones that are trying to take away our rights, not restore them or give them to us. But it is kind of ironic that they're getting a taste of their own medicine, I guess, right? What they did to us, nowhere near what they did to us, but,
No, I'm sure that Charlie and Brent will tell you too that there's extremists and fanatics on both ends of the spectrum too. So
Yeah.
how far do
Well,
you go?
sure.
And
we have numbers,
That's-
though.
that-
We do have numbers and stats.
yeah,
And like we've said before, at least since President Trump became the president in 2016, it's the left who is more violent and has more violent attacks, and that's the official numbers as well. And not only that, we have the official numbers on how people feel about assassinating political opponents. The left thinks it's totally okay, whereas only a small percentage of the right believes that, like 6%. I mean, because Jay Vance gave those statistics, and he was like, still too high, but nowhere near the numbers that we get from the left, because the left has gone completely.
Yeah. Well, and social media, Facebook, YouTube, and whatnot has been so hard on the right for so long that they've kind of learned to temper what they say, whereas the left is just given free rein to say whatever they want. I mean, look at Blue Sky. You can go on there and say anything you want that's hatred, towards the right, and you're fine. You'll get followers left and right. But you say one thing, Charlie Kirk didn't deserve it. Boom, you're banned.
Yeah, upside down, man. Say something nice, and nope.
Yeah.
Can't hear.
I don't know. Did you guys? I see this over here on the BitChute chat. Have you guys seen anything about TikTok to be banned in the United States?
No.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
SOF
I know there's a
banking
deal
over there
going on right now.
dropped that in. I'm like, okay, that's news to me.
Yeah, there's a big deal going down right now to get it purchased by, what is it? Some like silicon chip making company or something. Yeah, it's I haven't heard anything about them being banned here.
No. Yeah, and I was wondering about. Well, they're also trying to sell Bitcoin to me too, but you know how that'll work.
After Nepal, I would be really hesitant to ban social media in my country. Brent, greetings. Okay, I think he's looking for us here.
Yeah, we're gonna head over. Tell him, give us a minute, and then I'll start the new call. All right.
Okay, will do.
All right, because and by the way, I need to start that
Give
buffer
us about
file.
a minute. We'll start a new call and invite you in.
Yeah.
Start a new room and invite you in. Try again later. Unable to receive audio. Why? Oh, probably because I'm on a call.
We're in a different call. Yes.
No. I'm trying to do voice to text.
Oh, yeah, that ain't gonna work while you're on. Anyways, just go ahead. This will take us up
Hang
to the 55-minute mark. All right, so I will get us going. Oh yeah, it probably helps if I take and leave the other room. End that meeting. And start another one. Come on. I have to do it this way. Do. What? Oh my God. Teams, get your crap together. Hold on, folks. I am getting all our folks together here. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
I'm trying to get Brent in here, but give him. This is a new call.
Okay.
All right. You might need to give him the new link.
Will do.
Yeah, because it's.
Okay.
It keeps bouncing him out.
I don't know if I can. For some reason, I don't have the ability to copy this link. Let me see here. Why can't I do that? It's like it's missing shit.
Oh. Well, let me go back to the first one. All right. I got time. Hang up. All right. Let's see here. Let's add the folks in. Where are you at, people? 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Yeah, share the invite from this one.
Okay. This one actually has. I don't know why the other one didn't have an option to. To join. Oops. Let's go into Brent's view profile message.
Let me switch our.
Unable to send. You can't send links to this message until the invite is accepted. Okay, so I can't do it that way. I might be able to do it on my phone. A minute ago, it wouldn't let me send a text to him. Shit. So I might have to do it to email. Not sent. Check options. Resend. Okay, I think that went through. But just to be safe, I'll send him an email too. Yeah, I can't send message. For fuck's sake, I don't know why. Get that out of the way.
God.
French.
Yeah.
Got it.
Grant me 11. Reply.
All right. Well, your intro is playing now. Sorry about that.
Oh God.
Yeah. I mean, I tried all three
go.
of them, and here's your countdown: 4, 3, 2, 1, and you are live and on the radio side right now.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Censorship Roundtable Radio Show, Wednesday night, September 17th, 2025. And let's see here. We're trying to get our guest in the room here. For some reason, whenever I try to send an email or whatnot. Oh, okay, here we go. Beautiful. View lobby. Brent.
There you are, Brent.
Greetings.
Someone brought him in? Okay, great. How are you doing, Brent? Sorry about the confusion there.
No, it's all good. Happy to be here. We're after 5, so are we on the air?
Yes, we are live on the air right now. I just did the intro and was scrambling to try to get you the link. For some reason, my texts weren't going out, and I don't think I have you connected here through Teams, but whatever. You got it. Here we are. Welcome aboard.
Good to be here.
It's good to have you, my friend. It's good to have you. I don't even know where to start, man. I don't even know where to start. Last week was such a tragic event, and I know, you have a long, ongoing personal relationship with Charlie Kirk, and I don't know if you want to take a moment and kind of talk about that. I'll give you the mic. If you want to move on, we can move on, but at the same time, I don't know.
Well, it's hard to move on from the event. I don't think your audience wants to talk about the weather.
Well, they cut interest rates a 0.25% today. The FOMC cut rates a 0.25% today. I was going to dive into that story if you want to, lead with that one.
I actually missed what you said. I was talking over you, which is impolite. Say that again.
I said the Federal Reserve cut interest rates a 0.25% today, so we could lead on that story, or we can talk about Charlie.
Yeah, we'll get to the Federal Reserve and interest rates.
Okay.
Right. No, well, look, your audience wants to hear something, and I'll share. Look, Charlie and I had a long history. We worked together for 12 years, from 2013 forward. 2013 was 1 year into Turning Point, so I came along in at the end of year 1, and then was really fortunate to play a role in a lot of different ways. My standard answer to people is there's a lot of things that Charlie did that are on the record and people know about, and there's a lot of things we did that aren't on the record and they don't know about. But and we'll leave it just that way. But I'm on your show today because of Charlie Kirk. Because if it weren't for him at the age of 19, spotting something in a grizzly old man in his early 50s that suggested to him there might be things I could do other than just business related things, I never would have stepped into what I call the world of ideas. And so grateful that the life I live today, the circles in which I get to travel, the things I get to do in media, conferences, and other things, that's a direct gratitude wink at Charlie. And so I'm grateful to have met him. I'm grateful for the doors he's opened. Glad I had a chance to walk through them. Glad that for most of them, when I did walk through them, I didn't get kicked out of the room once I got there. And, and so final thought in general, just with regard to our relationship, there are people that greatly overstay the role I played in his and Turning Point's development. While that's very, very kind, and I appreciate the words, here's the fact of the matter. Charlie Kirk was an absolute freak of nature in terms of drive, energy, and intellect, resolve, the most innate marketer I've ever met. No training and a better marketer than most of the people on Madison Avenue that get paid for it. And so he would have been phenomenally successful no matter who was working with him. I was just lucky enough to get dragged along for the ride. So I take zero credit for what he accomplished, and instead just the opposite. I give him credit for what he allowed me to step into and for the opportunities he presented to me, and that I continue to have presented right up through signing into your show a few minutes ago.
And, I was thinking about this the other day, that most of the time when a 19-year-old attaches himself in some way or another to a 51-year-old man, or whatever your age was at the time, it becomes sort of a mentor relationship, right? And I'm wondering if maybe in this case it was kind of the opposite, that the 19-year-old was actually the mentor in the relationship.
Yeah, fun question. I suppose there was some reciprocity in both directions. Look, Charlie had vision and energy, and I had old age, lots of scars, and a little bit of wisdom. So it's not about so who mentored who or who did more of what or any of those things.
Yeah.
It is about, and I don't mean by saying that, I don't mean there's anything wrong with your question, but what it is about is that in moments in life, and your audience should think about this, right? That in moments in life, opportunities present themselves, and when they do, you have to be alert, you have to recognize them, and then you have to have the willingness to act. And I think in Charlie's, in my case, apparently an opportunity presented itself for both of us, and we both decided to act. And for that I'm grateful. But last thought, I mean, I'll share something personal, but not personal like a story. I don't do that kind of stuff. But what I will share is a personal reflection that I think it would be nice, especially for the younger members of your audience, to listen to. When I was 17 years old, lost and floundering between my junior and senior year of high school with no plan or ambition, I accidentally at the grocery store picked up a paperback to read, probably the first book I read in high school, called A Time for Truth by William Simon. And that's an odd book for a teenager to pick up and read. Don't know why I did, but it was all about regulation and taxation. This is 1979, talking about big government, and before big government was as big as it is now. And I read that book sitting on my parents' dock, and I thought, this is incredible. This is amazing. I don't know why everybody doesn't understand this. I'm going to get all A's my senior year. I'm going to go to college. I'm going to study economics, and I'm going to go change the world, right? I did all of those things except change the world. So, and after I graduated with college, as I say to people, I got a job, I got married, I got drunk, I had kids, I got drunk again, I got divorced, had a successful business career, got sober, by the way. But then in my early 50s, I run into this Charlie Kirk character. And what did Charlie Kirk give me an opportunity to do? He gave me an opportunity to help act on a dream that I had when I was 17 years old. And now I was in my early 50s with most of my life fled. So the lesson here is, if you have dreams, and especially when you're young, and if they don't seem to pan out right away, don't lose track of them. Keep them in mind, because you don't know when the opportunity might present itself. And when it does, you have to be present to win, and you have to be willing to act. So fortunate I didn't lose track of my dream, and more fortunate still that Charlie Kirk gave me a chance to realize it.
Will you be going to the funeral this weekend?
No, I will not. I think those kinds of large public events, I mean, certainly they have their place. I understand they happen for national figures. It's all wonderful. But I'm a wee bit more private in my thoughts and in action. So going to a big, giant, crowded thing with a bunch of speakers and all that stuff, I think it's perfectly fine. I'm not making any disparaging remarks about it. But it's not my sort of venue, and not really the way I would pay respect. I think it's fine, but I think paying respect, if you want to pay it, in my mind, for me, is better paid through action than appearance.
Okay. let's see. I don't want to completely just talk about nothing but this, but I really want to bring up Erica Kirk.
Still, I mean, for
The
someone like
speech she
him,
gave
you
the
know,
other
who's
night was, I mean, I didn't shed any tears over Charlie because I didn't know him. I know you, but I was terribly upset about it. But man, when she started talking, the waterworks came out, and what 38,000 new applications for membership for new chapters to Turning Point is pretty incredible.
Yeah, I mean, and that's a reflection of students going online and at their school. And there's on the website, I'm sure there's a place where apply now and you fill it out and turn it in. So easy enough to get an accurate count. No reason to doubt their numbers. Look, Erica, I met Erica. I know Erica. I don't know her well, so I'm not going to make any pretense to your audience, as others are doing, by the way. Shame on a whole host of people who are going on any form of media they can and trying to tell their Charlie Kirk or Erica Kirk story and somehow or other pull their 5 minutes of fame from it and self-promote. It's just absolutely dreadful. But what I came to know of Erica is that she's extraordinarily delightful as a person, certainly very deep in her faith. And I think that comes out, in her speech and comes out in all she does. She has a line of clothing called Proclaim, and it's all driven around spreading the message of the gospel and New Testament. And so, wonderful soul, strong lady. She made a lot of strong statements in her speech. I suspect she's intending to show up and carry out every one of them, right? So certainly wish her, and of course a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old. These are the ripple effects that will last a lifetime, right? Young children that will never know their father. So all of it's bad, but. It's funny. I didn't do this on purpose. I sat down in the library in my home to do this today, and laying on the table next to me, just by coincidence, holding up a little book. Your audience can't see, I guess. We don't do video, but holding up for you. It is Voltaire's Treatise on Toleration, one of his most famous works in the Enlightenment. And I think that what Voltaire wrote 300 years ago, a little less, would be well worth folks reading today. And because arguably the greatest thinker of the Enlightenment, back in a time, we think divisions in countries are new. He was writing about it 300 years ago. And of course, in his case, primarily writing from the perspective of the church being intolerant of dissenting voices. And I think that's a warning to us all that in this moment, regardless of your faith, whether you have any or not, and regardless of your politics, I think that it would be a good time to try to do better, as we say in Common Ground Campus, and see if there isn't a way that you can't start having conversations with people as opposed to the sorts of things that we tend to see on social media, which are about 4 clicks south of conversation.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk a little bit about Common Ground, because I spoke with you a little earlier today, and you mentioned that it's kind of picking up some steam here. And obviously, you're not the kind of person that's going to say, hey, this happened, it's too dangerous, let's just shut the whole thing down, right? So you're moving full steam ahead.
Yeah, look, to the contrary, right? And so it's interesting insofar as you look at a program like we developed, a program, by the way, Turning Point USA was the first campus group. They're not the only one, but they were the first one to have us for an event. It was at the University of Georgia 3.5 years ago. And you don't want to act like you're an undertaker at a gunfight where you're benefiting from tragedy. And so I'm not going to betray what we do in that sense, but I will say this, that it is the kind of program that was needed before. There's what happened to Charlie does not change the need. It was as needed the day after as it was the day before. The difference is now there might be some more awareness of the need for it. And so to that extent, I mean, we're going to Rollins College in Orlando next week and doing an event with students there. And after this took place on Wednesday, you know, we had a nice note from the school just simply acknowledging how grateful they were that we happened to be coming in this moment. And I've said this before on your show, and I'm going to say it really loud again. And that is, you know, when my partner Phyllis and I created this thing, you know, 4 years ago, we knew that the country was incredibly divided. We knew that the path we were on didn't seem to be sustainable. We also knew that we couldn't fix it, right? We can't. Two people, you know, guy, a gal in a truck, right? Or a guy, a gal maybe in an airplane in economy. But we did know this. We knew that we could do something. And so this is what we decided to do. And I'm proud of us for what we've done. We built it on our own. We're grateful that through our Foundation Bridge charities that we started for the program, the Diana Davis Spencer Foundation has given us a grant. We have others looking at us. But here's the point. Everybody's looking at this, at least most people are looking at this, sort of mortified by the horror of it all. And Phyllis and I couldn't do everything, but we could do something. So we're doing something. So can the people that are in your audience right now. Imagine there's 330 million people in this country. Many of them, by the way, here legally, many of them. And imagine if 165 million people, half the population, got up tomorrow. How about 82.5 million, quarter of the population? If they got up tomorrow and said, I am going to do something that fits with my talents and my skills and my passion, I'm going to do something to try to make a difference to bring people together. Imagine what would happen. We don't need big, giant organizations. You don't need wait for someone to come along with a bunch of money to do something. Figure it out. Get to work. Do better. We're all capable of it.
And, you know, we're talking about common ground here, and I have to assume there's a good part of the audience that might not be familiar with it. So I'd like you to just explain a little bit about what you guys do.
Sure. Common Ground Campus is a program, like I said, we started 4 years ago and had our first event, actual event in April of 2022. And Common Ground Campus, and what we do is we go to high schools or colleges and work with students to teach them how to think critically, engage constructively, and solve problems instead of argue about differences. We do this in a couple of different ways, one of which is to have a Bridging the Divide event where we have students up on stage from both sides of a controversial issue on campus. And instead of having some sort of conventional debate about it where they just argue their differences, we have them take turns articulating under the topic a concern they have. And then we have the other students ask them questions, kick around ideas, throw out some solutions, share their thoughts. And eventually we get to the point where we try to reach a way to address that student's concern that all the other students can live with on the panel. And then we find common ground, and then we go to the next student. The other kind of event we do is we call it Bridge to Tomorrow. And that's where we have some sort of on or off campus event that brings students together of all types. We did a border cleanup in Brownsville, Texas in 2023 late, where we cleaned up over 7 tons of garbage in 2 days with a couple of 100 student volunteers right at the bank of the Rio Grande. We did an event with 5 different student groups of all persuasions here in Chicago, where I live, this past April, where we cleaned up a mile-long stretch at Loyola Beach, and we had the Northwestern University and Loyola University students participating. And then we eat pizza. And friendships were formed from that. And the students come together and they say, we didn't realize how much we had in common. We had no idea. We're not as divided as we thought, and so on. So we are throwing pebbles in the water. The pebbles take the form of a human student life. We're throwing them in the water, by the way, not to drown. They can float. But the point is, the students that are exposed to what we're doing, here's what we hope. They have something I don't have. They have a future. I'm elderly. All I have is a past, and what time is it? So the hope is that those students will go out and live the rest of their lives with a different thought in mind when engaging with other people with whom they apparently do not agree. And so we hope not only do we hope they approach those engagements differently, but we hope that they come up with ideas to do what we do, but to do it even better than we could imagine. And this is needed stuff. And if last week's events don't drive that home, I'm not sure what will.
Yeah. No, I was just going to say that what you're doing is so important right now. And hopefully this will prove a pivotal point where, I don't know, I read some editorial today saying how, people are getting massively open, their eyes are being opened in a massive, massive way because they're seeing this vitriol. They're seeing a young kid, a 31-year-old man shot in cold blood. And then they turn to Twitter and it's nothing but celebration. It's nothing but vile hatred. And they're like, I don't want to be associated with that. I want to step back from that. So a lot of people over the last week have been quite shocked to see that maybe some of the people that they've been, on the same side of politically are not very good people. We got about a minute left. I'll let you run with that thought.
Sure. Well, and of course, there's been all sorts of reactions on social media. There have been some that are quite positive. There's been some folks from Team Left saying we need to do better. But here's the thing for your audience to pay attention to. As big as Charlie Kirk's assassination was, you can make a very simple argument that 9/11 was bigger.
Yeah.
9/11 drew this country together for about 30 days, maybe between 30 and 60. And all of that unity rapidly deteriorated. So now adversity gives us another opportunity to reflect, to change our ways, to try to make a contribution, to do better. It's always just about doing better. And all of us are capable of it. So if you want to write something hateful on social media today, pick your finger up off the keypad and think about it.
Yeah. And I was kind of chuckling to myself because, 9/11 brought us all together just long enough to pass that Patriot Act. And then look where that turned out. But anyway, we got to go to break. We'll be right back after this, folks. It was more from Brent Hamachek.
All right, we are on radio break, and Danny Boy is playing right now for you.
Okay, cool.
Classic.
What? I got that, and I've also got some Springsteen, Born in the USA, mixed in there for you.
Yeah,
love it.
That'll be right as you go out, Brent. That one will, Born in the USA will come on.
I figured we'd pay something, out of respect. And another one to lift everyone up,
Yeah, it was
Charlie,
funny.
of course.
Yeah. When
it's funny. So
what was it, last week? Last
Sorry,
week
go ahead.
On Wednesday, on the 10th, we played taps.
Oh.
Yeah, at the beginning of the show.
Before the show started.
Yeah.
That was a hard show to do, my friend.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. I'm sure your audience was, the people that tuned in were tuning in because they needed some form of fellowship. They needed something normal. They needed to hear other people talk, and and that's good for you that you showed up. And I think it was always a good thing that the NFL and Major League Baseball started playing pretty fast after 9/11. think America needed that, right? Because life does continue. It just does. So if we don't focus on what we're going to do in the next moment and the next day and how we're going to turn anything around of whatever we're doing, what's the point, right?
Yeah.
So good on you for.
Yeah.
Hopefully the first half hour there was about what you were looking for.
Oh, it's
Right.
fine.
Okay.
I hope I didn't disappoint you in my thoughts or remarks.
No. I don't want to come across as inappropriate at at any point with you, let alone today.
You aren't in any way, shape, or form.
All right. So now we can go talk about the UK and Gammonzilla.
Gammonzilla, help me.
You know what a gammon is? Have you heard that term, gammon?
I have not.
It's a derogatory term for white British people.
Ah, okay.
Because they call ham gammon over there. Right?
Okay, right.
So they have skin that's like, it's gammon. And Gammonzilla has been awoken. Let's put it that way.
All right. Well, if I've been so extraordinarily busy, I'm a bit behind on news from across the pond, but if you frame it for me, I can stay with you. Yeah.
Sure. Well, I'm sure you saw something about the Tommy Robinson Unite the Kingdom rally.
Yes, I did. Yep.
Yeah, and I mean, it was massive. They're saying it was 100,000, but man, it was well over 1 million.
Yeah. Well, crowd sizes are hard to gauge. But yeah, I mean, I saw the video and
yeah,
it was huge.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to gauge and all, but I mean, I saw like one street for 15 blocks just filled shoulder to shoulder. You know, they can't tell me that's 100,000. I don't know. It is hard to gauge. I get it, but it was huge and very polite.
Well, we like polite. Well, the British typically are quite polite. They're well mannered. Even when they insult you, they do it by saying good afternoon.
Yeah.
So
30 seconds, gentlemen. Oh, now you get quiet on me, Like, come on.
Yeah, we'll dive into that and a few other stories.
You can talk like 5 or 6 paragraphs before that, but here's your countdown: 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and guess what? You're live and back on the radio side right now.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Censorship Sucks Roundtable Radio Show, Wednesday night edition, again for September 17th, 2025. Tonight, I've got my esteemed colleague, Brent Hamachek, the Vice President of Human Events Group, over here with us, talking about all kinds of good stuff. And I don't know, let's dive into this rally that went on over the weekend in the United Kingdom, the Unite the Kingdom rally. Huge, roaring success. You know, the media tries to downplay it because they don't want the numbers to really slap them in the face, but they're saying, 100,000. I saw reports. I know there were 3 million people watching it on Tommy's Twitch feed or his X feed. And there were probably, I saw estimates, some people saying as many as 3 million people showed up, but I would say conservatively probably 1 million, showed up for this thing. And it really is a stitch in the side of the government because all they're asking for is what they voted for, right? They voted time and time and time again to just, let's slow it down on the immigration. Let's, crack down on some of the crime that's going on. Let's get some of the bad people, out of the country. Basically what Donald Trump has done. That's what they want. And they're not getting it. And no matter how many times they vote, they still don't get it. So I don't know. Where do you see the way forward over there for those our friends across the pond?
Well, gosh, big topic, right? So, I mean, I held up a moment ago, again, your audience can't see, but I held up Voltaire's great work on toleration. Voltaire considered to be maybe the father of or certainly the leader, the big leader of the Enlightenment. That was the Enlightenment. And what was the Enlightenment replaced by when it came to a close near the end of the 1700s? I would argue it came into what we are still living in, and that is the age of socialism. Socialism was essentially born as a movement, really mostly out of France, early 1800s, spread. We all know about Karl Marx, Communist Manifesto, and that book really was about was commissioned to be written to promote the ideas of socialism, right? Centralized planning, management, and oversight of political, social, and economic activity. That's what socialism is. All right. So Europe, way ahead of us in the world of socialism. We were just being born as a free country, while those already established countries and kingdoms were starting to experiment and promote the ideas of socialism. We're still in the age of socialism. The American economy is a socialist economy, and Europe is more socialist than ours. So what do I make of what happened in England? What I make of what is happening or is happening in England is that citizens of a country are saying we're letting non-citizens of a country, of other countries, come into our country and take and use our stuff. All right. Now, makes sense? Here's the question. Are they saying you're taking and using up our stuff and our benefits, and you're interfering and crowding out our way of life, so we want you to go because we still want to be given stuff? Or is it something more fundamental, positive, and reflecting a change, a reversion back to ideas of individual liberty and personal responsibility? I think what's happening in England is likely just more of, we got a bunch of people here that aren't Brits, and they're using up our tax dollars and our services, and they're altering our way of life and our customs, and we don't like it. But socialism is still part of their custom, just like it is in the United States. And so when you make the reference to doing, their leaders not doing what Trump's doing, yeah, I mean, I saw the report today. DHS confirmed, 2 million illegals out of the country since Trump took office. Great. Good start. Like first day of digging a mile deep hole. Good start. But let's say we had all the illegals out of this country, or all of the illegals out of Great Britain tomorrow. What about the people that remain? What about the citizens? And what is it that they're really up for, asking for, and wanting to do? My hope would be that we're starting to get back to a place where people might start to say individual liberty, personal responsibility, those things ought to matter more to us. My suspicion and fear is that that's not the case. They just want people to get out of the way of being in the way of them getting their things and benefits. By the way, that's not to say that I'm not condemning the idea of wanting to crack down on illegal immigration. I'm sort of ruthlessly for it. What I am suggesting is we make too much of it. When we see that rally, we want to think it's something bigger. We want to believe, wow, this is a return to the great Britain of old, right? Not necessarily. Let's kind of try to be clear about what people are rallying about. We don't have a great groundswell here in the United States of repealing Obamacare, wiping out tuition assistance, and cutting back on Social Security or welfare programs, or. We don't seem to have a swelling demand for that. In fact, the last budget we passed would seem to indicate otherwise, or the spending bill. So we'll see, but folks like us, people in your audience, they can look at that event and say, wow, that's really great. It's so encouraging. Maybe. Is it? Let's see where it goes.
Yeah, a related article here. Nigel Farage was told by the Metropolitan Police that all the barrage of death threats that he's receiving online are not actionable, right? in other words, 30 people a day over there are getting arrested for offending people, whatnot. But if you take the guy who's going to be the next prime minister in all likelihood, and you write him a death threat, you get a pass. It's a two-tier system. And I think that's a big part of what they're upset about, you know. And, you know, let's face it, they're seeing their country and they don't recognize it anymore. You know, people our age remember London when it used to be full of Londoners. Now it's full of world citizens. You know,
Right.
it's just, and it's England, the proudest country in the world, you know, the most storied history of probably any country out there. And yet they're watching it deteriorate and fall apart right in front of their eyes. And it's got to be very frustrating.
Well, it's been frustrating here in the United States for us to see what's been happening here. I just, again, I go back to, I just wonder what is the real, what's the real key element behind people's objections and frustrations, and just exactly how far do they want to go in terms of restoration? Do people in America want to turn the clock back, absent slavery and women not being able to vote? Do they want to turn it back to a spirit that we had in 1789? I wish they did. It's a country I'd love. Even if we started today, we wouldn't get there in my lifetime because I'm too old, but I certainly would love to live in a country that was moving that way, because it would be a better country for my children. But I just don't see any signs of that. You know, certainly on some level, if there were more optimistic signs, Trump would have better polling numbers than he does. I think his polling numbers may be a bit of an indication of how people are responding to some of the efforts to, quote, make America great again.
And you mentioned 1789, so I will bid you a happy Constitution Day. I don't know if you knew that, but today is Constitution Day.
I completely and totally lost track. Happy Constitution Day back. I can remember back a handful of years ago.
Whoa, Mark, something's going on with your mic. You're just all static right now.
I don't even have my mic on.
You just hit a cable over there to the right.
Okay.
Yeah, that whatever you just did. Is that a magnet or something?
Probably has one in the phone.
Whatever you move, just don't ever put that back.
Sorry
there.
about
that.
that.
Was horrible. No problem. Go ahead, Brent.
Yeah, a little fun trivia. Turning Point USA, this would have been back in the last decade. I can't remember the year, but it got some notoriety on Constitution Day. They got in trouble on the campus of the College of DuPage. They got in trouble for their students passing out copies of the Constitution. Been too long to remember all the details, but I remember the incident. Might be a fun Google for your audience when they're not listening to us. I'm sure there's still stuff out there, but put in Turning Point USA, Constitution Day, College of DuPage, and I suspect you can find some history, unless in my aged mind I just made it all up. So,
yeah, God forbid you hand out constitutions to students. I mean,
well, yeah, I mean, all hell can break loose. You could have an insurrection.
Yeah, they might learn something.
Right.
I'll tell you, a nice little pocket constitution is a nice thing to have. I haven't had one in a little while, but I used to keep one pretty handy for quite a while. And it's always interesting to just pick it up and read through it. It's not that complicated, you know? It really isn't.
No, it's interesting, though. I always used to think that everybody ought to read the Constitution. I guess they still do. Over the last decade or so, I've been somewhat disturbed sometimes by people who have read the Constitution. Some of them come away with some quite interesting ideas about it. So, yeah. And just a whole lot of interesting kind of nonsense. But I guess better to read it than not. Just please read it carefully. Maybe read it twice, and give it some thought if you do.
Yeah. So let's see. We've also, before we move too far off of London, England, we've got President Trump over there on a royal visit, on a, official visit to the king. pretty interesting. It's the first time an American president has ever been invited to have two of those. Obviously, the circumstances are unique enough that it warrants it, with the fact that he had his terms, not consecutive, and the Queen passed away in between there, right? So now it's sort of a whole new thing with a whole new king. And I don't know what to even say about that. It's really just pomp and circumstance. Is it news? Yeah, it's news. But if you have any comments on it, go for it.
I'm not even sure what to say. The American fascination with the British royal family has just long perplexed me, considering that we fought a very bloody war to break away from them. I'm not suggesting we should have hard feelings. I'm not suggesting we shouldn't be friends and allies. I'm just kind of always fascinated by the fascination with the royal family. It is you could argue, the most
inbred,
antithetical, yes, that too, but the most antithetical institution in the world to the American idea. I mean, it's actually a pretty easy argument to make. So, but I get it. It's all quite gossipy and wonderful and intriguing, palace intrigue, quite literally. But I don't know. God love Trump. He gets to get out of the country. It all looks good. If I was his age in my second term, knowing I got a few years left to do this, probably go hang around Buckingham Palace too, just cause.
Yeah,
but it is of zero consequence to anything going on in the country anymore. It's just not of any consequence, right?
I know. To be fair with you, as I go through my news feed, for every, I don't know, 6 stories about Charlie, there's one about something else, right? So I'm trying to cherry pick some of the other things that are going on in the world, just so we don't have to, spend the entire night talking about Charlie. Because I know, as much as he meant to you, you probably don't want to just dwell on it with me, and that's perfectly fine. But I've got a clip here from Dearborn, Michigan, which is a pretty crazy thing. A Dearborn, Michigan resident opposing naming a street after pro-Hezbollah figure Osama Siblani. Dearborn mayor responds. Here's what he had to say.
Hezbollah, bombed the embassy in Beirut, and including many Americans. So I just feel it's quite inappropriate.
You are an Islamophobe, and although you live here, I want you to know as mayor, you are not welcome here. And the day you move out of the city will be the day that I launch a parade celebrating the fact that you moved out of the city, because you are not somebody who believes in coexistence.
Okay, that's the mayor of Dearborn.
Right. Well, look, boy, a lot to unpack with that too. And it seems like such a simple thing. I suspect there's better choices they could have made in terms of who to name a street after. And somebody might raise their hand and say, hey, how about Henry Ford? All right, we could name him after, there already is, but you say, Dearborn, Ford Motor Company, all of that stuff. Let's name one after Henry Ford. Okay, got it. Henry Ford, genuinely awful human being, incredible innovator, businessman. What he did for American industry, the automotive industry, is singular, right? He is a legend. Assembly line production, all of it. We know the story, right? But as big an anti-Semite as you could ever find, hateful human being, but great champion of industry. Everywhere we go, we encounter this problem when we start to name things after people. Interesting, the reaction of the mayor saying what he said, indicating, of course, quite clearly just how hateful a human being he is. And this is where it all goes. Every single thing we try to do in this country anymore, everything becomes binary and divisive. We can't name a street in Dearborn, Michigan, without this happening. And why did they pick that guy to name a street after? It was intentional. It was not an act of tribute. It was done in a deliberately provocative manner. That's why they did it. They literally, think about this. Have your audience just think about this for a minute. This is remarkable. They named a street after someone as an act of hatred against people they knew would rightfully have a concern about that street being given that name. Think about what that means. It's like you're sitting in a room and you're saying, what do we got to do? Oh, I don't know. We don't really have enough divisive stuff in the community today. Hey, I got an idea. Let's name a street after like an international villain. Let's do that. I bet that'll really piss people off. Let's give that a try.
Yeah.
It's like that. This is satire, only it's real life.
Yeah, and then when you express concern about it, the mayor says, move out, and we're going to throw a parade for you when you do. Right? I mean, it's so blatant in your face. And I remember seeing an article a while back about how they kind of laugh about this sort of thing. And they've done it many, many times. This isn't the only road in Dearborn that's named after a terrorist. There's probably a half a dozen or so. And they said it's funny. I drive down every time I make a right on, whatever boulevard, I laugh my butt off because it's funny. So that, because they can get away with it. And I don't know, man. I'm not against having people come into America at all. It's just please be respectful and don't, try to take it over and change it into the image of what you fled from.
Well, yeah, I mean, we always hear that, America's a nation of immigrants. So it is. All that stuff is true. But that has nothing to do with the idea of legal immigration, cultural assimilation and absorption, trying to create a national understanding of who and what we are, trying to have people be self-reliant instead of depending upon others. The idea of immigration versus all those other things is just preposterous. And so then you start to lose your way as a nation. You start to lose your national identity, and people sense all that slipping away. And then that causes very strong reactions to things, sometimes not very good ones. And then for others who kind of like this, like the mayor in your clip, they have an opportunity to provoke it. This was deliberately provocative with a street name. I repeat, a group of people actually sat in a room and deliberately decided to do this, knowing exactly what it would do, right? I mean, that's where we are. We're trying to find a way to piss people off when we name a street. This is as we used to say when I was an auditor 40 years ago, this is not generally what we like to see, right?
Yeah, generally. I don't know. You reminded me of a famous man who once said, I swear by my life and my love of that life that I will never live for the sake of another man nor ask another man to live for mine. The greatest single statement ever penned in human history. I would put Galt's pledge from Atlas Shrugged up against any line that someone wanted to extract from scripture, and I would defend it enthusiastically. Exactly.
If everybody on the planet woke up tomorrow and had that line implanted in their mind, we would solve all of our problems overnight. It is the rejection of that notion that leads to all of the great suffering in the human experience.
Yeah, pretty powerful stuff. Ayn Rand was just, brilliant. I loved her books. I would sit down with those things and just consume them in, basically one sitting that lasted 4 days,
Right. Yep.
So. Anyway, let's see what else is going on in the world. I don't know, man. There's been a lot of this both sides stuff lately that we're getting, with they're just, hey, man, it's both sides. It's not just, a problem on the left. It's a problem on the right, too. right?
Of course it is. Look at Candace Owens, the
Mhm.
biggest flamethrower. And it's hard to give
Okay.
anybody the title of most hateful person in America, but certainly she makes a compelling case for it. So let's acknowledge her effort to have that distinction. I think people that follow her should stop immediately. And if you say, well, I think there's some truth in the stuff she's saying, good for you. Don't follow her anyway, because the way she says it is just important as what she says. But this idea that there's some sort of team left corner on the hate market is just silly. It's preposterous.
Hey, I got breaking news for you here.
Let's hear it.
ABC pulls Jimmy Kimmel off the air.
Really? I'm hearing it from you.
Right.
Well, good. Good, by the way. Look, Trump and his government making some of the statements they've made the last few days that seem to zero in on wanting to target different kinds of speech. If your audience is cheering that, be careful, folks. Be careful. This is just sort of like being on a hamster's wheel of revenge, because what goes around comes around, and we shouldn't have the government doing this. But when employers do it, and if in fact they're doing it because of the outrageous things he has said over time, that is perfectly okay. What you see right now happening with employers letting employees go who went on their personal social media and made remarks, all of which lead to basically the same thing. I'm really glad somebody killed Charlie Kirk, and then they lose their job.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. That's about the only kind of enforcement that might get people to rethink their levels of decency. Because perhaps if you lose your job and your electricity's shut off and there's only Twinkies in your refrigerator, maybe then you might say, this isn't working, is it? So I do think that employers are they're not just justified to do it. By God, it's right to do it. That if your employees are behaving in an outrageous, hateful way all over the internet, fire them. I think it's
teachers. I mean, Texas just rescinded the licenses of like over 100 different teachers for the vile things they had to say online. And I mean, I could celebrate that too. That's I'll be the first one to tell you censorship sucks, but that ain't censorship. That's just taking a vile person out of a classroom with children.
Well,
We got
right.
about 30 seconds left.
Yeah, because when you do that, you're representing your views to the entire world. If I want to be a horse's ass and say stupid things in my living room to 3 friends, I shouldn't get fired for that. But if I'm going to broadcast it to the entire world and there I am and I work for you, it's perfectly okay to fire me for that.
But Brett, it's their private social media.
Yeah. Sort of an oxymoron, right?
Right. Yeah, a little bit.
Underprivileged, right? Old George Carlin stuff.
Anyway, man, unfortunately, we're out of time. I got to leave it here. Love you, man. It's so good to have you on the show tonight. I feel very honored that you went through with this. And folks, this is a Censorship Sucks Roundtable radio show. Big thank you to Brent Hamachek for being my guest tonight.
Thanks for having me.
All right. We got to go to break. We'll be right back.
All right. We're on radio break.
All right.
All right, man.
Okay,
Great
that okay,
job.
guys?
I think that went fantastic, man.
Okay,
good. As long as you're happy, I'm happy, man. As long as you're happy.
Yeah, I don't want to. Yeah, but it's your audience and your show, so I don't want to let people down or reflect badly on you. So.
No, you're a very important guest of mine and co-host, if you want to call it that. But you know, it's. I just want to be very respectful of the friendship that we've developed. You know.
Yep, I love it. I cherish it. Never feel otherwise. And kill it in the second hour. I'm going to go have a video meeting with our students from Rollins College, so I'm excited.
Oh,
cool.
Brent,
awesome.
Before you go,
yes,
anytime that you have an event net that you want to broadcast, let me know. And if I have the opening or a slot to do it, I will do that for you.
Oh, I appreciate that very much.
Just let me know. I mean, even I just need the times and dates so I can work it out. And the further in advance that I get, nothing more than maybe a month and a half in advance. All right, I can work something for you if you want to, stream it through me or even get it up on the radio side. And I'm sure John come in here too and do some commentary if we did that as well as a special. I'm all
That's
for
really cool.
helping you and Turning Point and Human Events. I'm really for that.
Well, I'm super grateful. I'll let my partner know. We're working on getting one set up with UC Berkeley, either later this semester or early next semester. That could be a good offer to take you up on. But
That'd be
I'll let
spicy.
her know. I just work here. She runs the place.
Yeah.
And she does it brilliantly.
Just
so I'll
pass
tell
it
my
on
boss.
to them, and like I say,
We're gonna lose our room here any second.
Yeah.
By the way.
And when we do,
All right.
I'm gonna pull us right back up into this room once again. All right. So
Okay.
All right, guys.
while we are on
Thanks, Brent.
break, thanks again, Brent. We'll catch you next time.
God love you. Thanks, guys.
All right.
Bye.
All right, guys. Barry, I'm going to end this. Hang up. Barry, hang up. That Barry guy, I don't know about him sometimes. But anyways, we're on radio break. And he probably won't be able to come back in until I get everything back up again. Let's get the crew in here. John, Barry.
Howdy.
All right. Let me get back into OBS. Switch us back over there so that we can be seen. There we go.
Testing 1 2 1 2. You sound great, Barry. You sound
What
great.
the hell was that, Barry? Come on now. Yeah, we're not on the radio yet. All right.
Just kind of trying to clear my throat before we go live.
Ka-ka-ka! Uh-oh. I am the rooster. I'm
Have
the
you
ape
guys ever seen the
man.
movie Yesterday?
Heard the song.
No, there's a movie called Yesterday, and you would especially like it, Mark, if you're into the Beatles. It's about this dude who is a musician. He's failing. He gets into an accident, and the world changes in this moment, and the Beatles never existed.
Oh,
So
wow.
he just starts recreating all the Beatles songs from memory,
I've heard of this before. Yeah.
and it's just a really good movie, man.
Yeah, I think the
Okay.
only Beatles movie that I kind of liked was Yellow Submarine, but that's about it. You
Yeah.
know, that's just, because
this isn't a Beatles
I'm
movie, it's
kind of
just-
into animation, and they did a lot of animation with that back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you don't have to watch it. For the rest of the audience out there, go check it out. Yesterday, it was a really good movie.
Mm-hmm.
So Jimmy Kimmel's gone, and he's gone tonight. His show tonight will not air.
Tonight. I'm excited, man. Oh, yeah, baby. He's
All
gone.
right, Barry, let's go.
Yeah. No, I'm just-
Ding dong, the dick.
he really was a kind of a, and not a very balanced host. Let's just put it that way. I'm being nice.
There was a time when I kind of liked him when he was with I can't think of what the other guy's name was, but they did this show called The Man's Show.
Oh yeah, totally different
That
guy,
was
though, dude.
so
I mean, that was
cool,
him.
huh?
That was him actually being him. This today, the Jimmy
Yeah.
Kimmel Show is him just reading off Democratic talking points and making fun of Trump.
Let me just say this for the record. Honestly, I don't know that I blame Jimmy Kimmel that much for being, kind of a jerk that he's been for the last 8 years or however long he's been.
What's he making?
I
$10
think
million bucks a year?
Well, I think what's happening is he's just doing the bidding of his handlers, man. The people that, hired him. Right?
That write his checks, his $1 million a month check.
Yeah,
Hey,
talking about
King
this.
King Bushcamp from the UK is in the kick chat. King, are you there, buddy? I want to know if you can hear us right now, and you're just not doing a drive-by. If you were at the event that Tommy Robinson had, and what you could tell us about it. King and Queen have a really good kick channel, and they're awesome supporters of my channel. That's why.
Is he in London, or is he like
I don't know where at in the UK they really are, but hey, if the event was big enough that I'm sure lots of folks was there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially Patriots.
Kind of backpedaling a little bit from where we were at. You talked about it, CS, and I kind of was dismissive about it. Sort of your perspective a little bit. Although I knew there was some truth to what you were saying, but I didn't give it as much credibility. But now I give it a little bit more credibility. And I think I'm kind of somewhere now in the middle as with my opinion on this. I
You're
feel
talking about cereal is really a soup.
no. But yeah, it could be.
Okay.
It's just cold soup. But no, you talked about Stephen Colbert, and I was like, no, the dude he's bad news, man. He's knowingly doing what he's doing. And I think that's still 100%.
Yeah.
But at the same time, maybe he wouldn't be quite as bad, had he not been working for whatever it is, ABC, CBS, or whoever it is he works for The Late Show. Because
Excuse me.
he's just doing what he's told to do.
30 seconds, guys.
Yeah, if he was going around doing stand-up and nightclubs, it would be a
that bad.
totally different act. It'd be a totally different act.
He'd still probably lean left and say some horrible things, but not nearly as bad, I think. I think you're right in saying that they become puppets, man. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
All right,
it's
look
money,
out,
man.
cats,
Fat,
dogs,
fat
and kids.
money.
Here is your countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you're live and on the radio side right now.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to hour 2 of the Censorship Sucks Roundtable radio show for Wednesday, September 17th, 2025. It is such an honor to have each and every one of you out there listening in tonight. And I know my partner in crime over here, Bullhorn Barry, agrees. Do you agree, Barry?
I agree with you. Yeah, whatever you say, man. You're the boss.
All right. Broccoli's delicious.
If you say this, I do agree with that. If you say the sky is green, I might question you on that because it sounds very much like a leftist talking point.
And you honestly think broccoli's delicious?
Actually, yeah. I'm kind of fruity like that.
We might have problems, man.
I like to eat it even raw. I have no problem. In fact, I think it's easier for you to eat it raw. But I do like it cooked as well, and maybe a little cheese on top of it. In a casserole, dude, it's the bomb. It's bombastic if you put it into a casserole, dude.
Yeah, I've been exposed to it where it wasn't horrible, but it's pretty rare.
Exposed to it? It sounds like it's like an infection. I've been exposed to the broccoli.
Yeah, I was exposed to it. I went to a restaurant and I didn't realize they were going to put it right on my plate, but they did. They put it right on the plate, right next to my food.
That's horrible.
And I was like, what are you people doing?
You're like fanning the heat away from you and all the smell. You're like, oh, that's not. Get that away.
If you didn't know any better, you'd think it was food. They put it right there with the food on the plate.
Well, I'm sure that there's an injection for that now. Someone out there probably created created an inoculation for broccoli by now. Probably Gates, that Gates guy.
Just some GMO broccoli, maybe.
mRNA broccoli, yeah.
Some GMO broccoli that tastes more like squash.
There you go. It looks like a carrot. But anyway, let's dive back. You and I brought up something very interesting a few weeks ago. I was talking about Patrick Bet David, and he said, there are people out there that make a lot of money, get very rich and powerful, and they do it for 3 main reasons, he said. The money itself, the power, but also legacy. and building that legacy. And I didn't think of Charlie at the time, but man, what a legend! What a legacy he left behind. For whatever money he had, he left a legacy behind that will live forever.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And on that note, I know you wanted to say some words, share some prayers basically with the audience. So why don't you do that right now on that note?
Sure. Let me get my my notes here so I don't divert too far. Yeah, you'd asked me to maybe if we could maybe say a little prayer for the situation that we're in, and so I put a little prayer together, a little preface together that sort of helped frame the prayer. And so the first few things that I want to say that just sort of real quickly is to preface the prayer is, number one, Charlie's death has us grieving, and the pain is going to obviously take some time to heal. That's number one. Number two, Charlie is a martyr now, and he died for his civil rights work, and he died for his Christian faith. 3, his death will not be forgotten, nor will it be in vain. And finally, and not least important, but definitely important, is most of us recognize that something much bigger than Charlie is taking place. I mean, obviously, it's amazing to see the worldwide response to Charlie's life and his work. And Charlie once said that one of his callings and purpose in life was to expose the many evils that we face. And when Charlie was asked what he wanted to be remembered for, he said, "I want to be remembered for courage for my faith. That is what would be the most important thing." He said, "The most important thing is my faith." And now we see Charlie's life, and now his departure has led to many more people coming to the faith, and many more people are waking up to the reality of, the many challenges, the evil and the challenges that we face. So we may not know where all of this leads, but there definitely has been a fire that has been lit. And I say, let's make the most of it. And I'm pretty sure that that's what Charlie would want well. And we can kind of know this because one of Charlie's 5 favorite Bible passages was Romans 8:28, and it says, "We know that in all things that God works for the good, for those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose." So kind of with that in mind, I just put together a quick little prayer that we could pray together and hopefully get some guidance from God and pray for some protection for his family. So let's pray. Father, I pray that you would open our eyes to the bigger picture. Let us see the potential that you see and guide us in the direction that we should go. We pray for the Kirk family, that they will find comfort and encouragement, and that you would meet all of their needs. Strengthen them and protect them. We ask you to heal our hearts from this loss and also bring the healing to America that is desperately needed. Protect the truth tellers, the whistleblowers, and those in power who seek to do good. And in keeping in step with Charlie, I pray that many people will surrender their lives to Christ and come to know the goodness and the joy that comes from having an intimate relationship with God. May God bless each and every one of us, and may God bless the USA. Amen.
Amen. Well, thank you for that. That was heartfelt. All right, let's dive back into some stories, and I wish Brett was still with us because I would love to hear what he has to say about all this stuff. J.D. Vance just came out and told some of the people on the political right to cool their jets about Charlie Kirk, to calm down. We haven't even buried the man yet. And he's talking to people on the right. He didn't name names, but Brett did when he mentioned Candace Owens and just how, vile her actions have been. Right on that list, though, is Tucker Carlson. News today came out that, breaking, Ted Cruz blasts Tucker Carlson for lying about Charlie Kirk. I'm reading from the Right Scoop here. Ted Cruz has called out Tucker Carlson and his cronies for lying about Charlie Kirk and his feelings about the state of Israel. Cruz retweeted a video of Tucker saying, among other things, that Kirk didn't like Netanyahu and felt like he was a destructive force, didn't like what Israel was doing in Gaza, and resentful that Netanyahu was using the U.S. to prosecute his war. So, let's see. Quoting here from Ted Cruz, he says, "I'm getting really tired of Tucker and his cronies falsely claiming Charlie agreed with me that Israel is terrible and the problem in America is all the damn Jews." I knew Charlie well, and indeed, the very last conversation we had was how deeply concerned he was about the rising anti-Semitism on the right. So here's Ted Cruz coming out to condemn Tucker Carlson, who J.D. Vance is also saying, hey, cool it down. We just heard, Brent's thoughts about Candace Owens, and yet when I saw the announcement that Charlie's funeral would be this weekend, I looked at the list of who the speakers were going to be, and there was Tucker Carlson on the list.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what's going on there. I don't know if you have any insight. Have you? It's kind of a strange thing. That's what I'm saying. I wish Brett was here because maybe he could give us some more, inside game on that and what's happening there.
I mean, I have a little bit of knowledge about it. I'm not a fan of, where Candace Owens has gone with, and I think what Brent brought up was her tone and where, this sort of, the thing that I have the problem with is this idea that when you have certain people that are Jewish that are bad, that all of a sudden that's all of Israel. It's all Jews. And that is so, and actually Charlie Kirk pointed that I listened to him actually talk about that exact same thing, how absurd that is. That's not to say that Netanyahu may not be the most up and up guy. I tend to question his motives. I think he's a globalist, in my opinion. I don't think he's serving the nation of Israel correctly. That's why I support Israel by saying I think he's doing wrong. I mean, I support Israel by pointing it out. Just like if Joe Biden was doing something bad, I would point it out, and because I like America. So there's nothing wrong with criticizing Netanyahu or criticizing some of the policies within the Netanyahu administration, but to label it all Jews is where I draw the line. I have a problem with that. But as far as Tucker Carlson goes, I have never heard him say that Israel is bad, Jews are bad. He's done the same kind of thing.
Well, he signed a deal with Qatar recently, and they're funding him now, right? So he's now literally being paid by, the government of Qatar through one of their, companies to fund and pay his day-to-day bills, right? He's making big money, and it's coming from there. So, there's been rumors spreading that maybe Israel tried to kill Charlie Kirk, which is obviously despicable. It's completely false. And I think that's what J.D. Vance was touching on, and what maybe Tucker is sort of alluding to as well, by not saying it directly, but by saying it, tangentially.
I haven't heard anything that extreme, and I've listened to what Tucker Carlson has said a lot of, but I may something. I don't listen to him every day. But what I've heard him say is nothing about the nation of Israel and nothing about Jews in general, but certainly he has complained about Netanyahu, which I think is completely on the table and okay to do. Just like it's okay for us as Trump supporters to criticize Trump. It would be absurd not to be able to criticize another leader from another nation. But with some of these people, you can't. You're not allowed to. That's bad. And that's never going to stop me from speaking what I think is the truth. But again, I want to know the facts before I start blabbing my mouth about certain things. Because if I don't know anything about it, I'm just going to try to be quiet about it.
Yeah, it's a wild time. It's a wild time. Gosh, I don't even know where to go. There's so many of these stories out here about just the two sides. They're trying to say that this is on both sides, right? It's on both sides. It's a problem with the left just as much it is with the right. And I'll tell you what. Let's go to Greg Gutfield because he did this probably better than anyone. Yeah, and I apologize. There's a little bit of cursory wording at the end of this, cursing that is, but it's not anything that's, we need to worry about. Just if you have little kids, you might want to just plug their ears for the last part of this, which is like a minute and some long.
We don't need it. What is interesting here is why is only this happening on the left and not the right? That's all we need to know. There's absolutely no cause.
What about Melissa Hortman?
Okay, you want to talk about Melissa Hortman? Did you know her name before it happened? None of us did. None of us were spending every single day talking about Mrs. Hortman. I never heard of her until after she died.
She doesn't matter?
Don't play that bullshit with me. You know what I'm saying is there was no demonization, amplification about that woman before she died. It was a specific crime against her by somebody who knew her. The same. And now you can bring up Josh Shapiro, but then you will not bring up, for example, that was a pro-Palestine person. So don't use your. What about this? The fact of the matter is the both sides argument not only doesn't fly. We don't care. We don't care about your both sides argument. That shit is dead. For one thing, there is no cognitive dissonance on our side. On your side, your beliefs do not match reality. So you're coming up with these rationalizations like, what about this? Or what about that? We're not doing that because we saw it happen. We saw a young, bright man assassinated, and we know who did it. We are not coming up with rationalizations. We are calm, we are honest, and we are resolute. We're not defensive, and I understand the defensiveness. I understand why people are saying, what about this and what about this? Because if you have to face the underlying fact to this, your life is going to fall apart because you're going to realize you're not the good guys. If you sat around and you defended the mutilation of children, you're not the good guys. If you sat 600, 700 cases of harassment against Republicans and you said, but what about this? What about this? And then you see this murder after calling somebody a fascist, you realize maybe I'm not the good guy. That is a hell of a realization to deal with. So therefore, you have to grasp at rationalizations. You don't have to do that, Jessica. They do. I don't believe you're part of that group, but why the hell do you have to mimic and echo that crap to us? He was a patsy. That guy was a patsy. He was under the hypnotic spell of a direct-to-consumer nihilism, the trans cult, and you know that. If you can decide that biology is false, you can agree that murder is okay and that humanity is expendable. How you cannot see that alone and see that for what the evil it is without having to attach all of these other things is beyond me.
Yeah. Wow. That passion is right. Like, I know when I get in the groove, I hope I sound half that good. He just, man, we're done.
That's called, he went off. Like a firecracker. Yeah.
We're sick of it. We're done. We're sick of it. It's not going to fly anymore, and we're moving on because you're all full of crap. Jimmy Kimmel lost his show. Why? Because he's lying to the people. He went out there and lied and said that this guy was a MAGA Trump supporter. He's not.
Yeah. It's just sort of like Stephen King lied and said that, it's something to the lines of, Charlie Kirk wanted to line up gays and shoot and kill them, something crazy stuff like that. And he knew that was not true. But then he backpedaled very quickly and he said, I should have fact checked it. No, these people know most of the time they know. And I do have to give some of them the benefit of the doubt because some of them are just completely out of the loop because all they listen to is the leftist fake news. And so they don't know any truth because they're constantly being fed lies.
Yeah. It's horrible stuff, folks. I mean, it's just a field of crap out there. Social media is a brain rot. It's the death of our country. When you see the things that these people are able to get away with, there were 7 known people so far that I've read about who predicted this ahead of time, and they all have ties to the different Trantifa groups in Utah, who then have leadership with ties to all these NGOs and actual government workers, right? They're getting paid by our government to do this crap, to brain rot people, to make them think up is down, left is right, and 2 + 2 is 7.
Yeah, it looks like the NGOs may be behind some of this stuff because that's who J.D. Vance said we're going after, the people financing this kind of stuff. So we need to nip this in the bud because the money is what's keeping it going and keeping it alive. That and the media does a great job, man. They won't condemn it. I mean, can you honestly believe that there was a reporter in the mainstream fake news saying how beautiful it was that this shooter had this loving, delicate, beautiful relationship with his trans lover? This was the focus of what just happened, this murder assassination. All he could talk about was how unique and beautiful it was. Like this guy's trying to humanize this monster.
Yeah, yeah. And he even made up quotes that weren't in the transcripts. You know, he just made stuff up about it. He called my love, I miss you, or whatever. You know, it's not in the transcript. You just made that up. And why? Why do you feel the need to make this crap up?
They want to paint these people as good people. You remember when Nancy Pelosi said about MS-13 that they had the divine spark of God in them? Well, I don't see that. I mean, they were literally, I mean, we can't even talk over the air about the stuff they did to people. The multiple rapes, the gang rapes. I mean, the satanic worship stuff they were involved in.
Hanging people from bridges in Mexico on a regular basis, you know? I mean, it goes on and on.
Yeah, that's not the spark of divinity. You know, they may still have the spark in them, but they have drowned it out. They have suffocated it. They have turned themselves over to literally to Satan. And that's admitted because you had the one of the, what was it? Not the Venezuelan.
Yeah, the house they found in.
Well, I mean, they admit they're Satanists. MS-13 is now a satanic group. It's a satanic gang. So they actually do sacrifices and stuff. That was admitted by, I'm trying to think of the world leader from, God, what's that guy's name? I'm drawing a blank, man. I apologize. But he was talking about how he interviewed one of the MS-13 that was in his prison. And he said, yeah, I left the gang because they wanted me to do a child sacrifice and as an offering to Satan. So these people aren't representing God, but yet you have Nancy Pelosi saying, oh, they have the spark of divinity. I mean, why are they trying to turn evil people into saints and saints into evil people? That's the question we should be asking.
And I will tell you what, man, when it all said and done, yeah, the scumbag who pulled the trigger is going to be probably killed by firing squad in Utah. Right? He will probably be certainly overwhelming evidence that it's him. He admitted to it.
So they still have the shooting squad, I guess. And I think that's probably the only state in the entire nation where they have that, isn't it? Hello?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm back. Yeah, so he admitted to it several times. They've got overwhelming evidence. The guy's guilty. There's no question about it. He's going to be put to death because Utah has the
death penalty by shooting. I thought that's where you cut off again. Are you there, CS? Anyway, I would be curious to find out, that's kind of unusual, death by shooting. I don't think there's any other state that does that. But I think that's still actually going on in Utah. I don't know. But
yeah, I think they do. I vaguely remember reading about that somewhere back, and it wouldn't be more fitting for a guy like this, you know?
Well, they might give him his last cigarette or something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. And your last meal, anything you want from the dollar menu at McDonald's. Pick anything, man. Any 3 items you want.
I mean, there's no doubt that he's worthy of that. No matter where you stand with the death penalty, I mean, he's worthy of death. He's done. You know what I'm saying? But
well, we'll get into more of that. We got to go to break, but let's get into more of that when we come back, because there's some other people that are very guilty here. So, folks, Censorship Sucks Roundtable Radio Show. Got to go to break. Be right back after this.
And all the sinners saints. Oh, sympathy for the devil, right?
Exactly.
Divine spark of divinity, right?
Mm-hmm. But is your brain going? Sounds like you were thinking. Going deep, Mark.
Oh, me? Oh, no. I got cut out there a couple times.
I know. What happened?
I don't know. I bet if I look at my Starlink stats, I dropped it for a second. For whatever reasons. Let's see. 96.8% success rate over the last 15 minutes.
All right. I'll be right back, guys.
Yeah, I got 2 drops right there in my ping. Don't know why, but
I guess it kind of makes sense, though. Left and you want to demonize the good guy when you're the bad guy, and maybe that helps make you look better. It is sort of kind of like a satanic agenda. If you look into the dark occult, the dark occult sees, I mean, they believe, like in the Bible, they just think that God is the bad guy and that Lucifer is the good guy.
Yeah.
I don't know if you knew that or not, but that's actually sort of a belief within the dark occult. And they just, which is basically makes sense because, you know, it's the upside down. They're flipping everything backwards. Sort of like Solomon, he said in his book, you know, I want to dedicate this book to the first of all, Satan, you know. So they see him as an archetype of, you know, someone who supports their evil, violent revolution.
And interestingly enough, I remember Glenn Beck doing a radio series, or a TV show, and you know, when he was on Fox way back in the day, about how the Muslim religion was like the opposite of Christianity. It was the anti-Christianity, right?
I didn't hear that, but I will say this. Biblically speaking, this is what the Bible says about Antichrist spirit, and that is any spirit that denies that Jesus is the Christ and has come in the flesh is Antichrist. And so that would fit the Muslim religion because they're Antichrist. They don't believe that Christ was the Son of God. They just see him as, you know, just a guy that came, a prophet.
A prophet, yeah. Very loving man, a black man.
I think he was brown. Jesus was probably brown.
All right, I'm back.
God, I got so many notes I took for talking to Brent, and I don't know, man.
I think we should
That was hard.
talk a little bit about, maybe briefly touch on how, you know, what the left, the globalists wanted to do, you know, by taking out one of our leaders, is that how it's backfired on them big time, because we've got billions of people coming together, vigils everywhere, people being
peaceful,
united,
very peaceful, and vile leftists coming to disrupt them. But okay, let's go back in and wrap up with the I want to talk about that dude who got arrested first after Charlie's murder. Did you see that guy?
The guy with the child porn?
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to turn the air conditioning up a little bit in here. I'll be right back.
All right.
Willie's coming on with Nancy tonight.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool.
As James.
Do you want me to go on there and talk about Israel with him?
No.
Okay.
But I think he is. But anyways, 30 seconds. I don't want to upset you.
No, I just say it like it is.
You know, I mean, everybody has their own opinions, and you know, and things like that. That's fine. You know that's okay. Here's your countdown: 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you are live and back on the radio side right now.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to hour 2 of the Censorship Sucks Roundtable Radio Show. What a night! What a lady! What a night! It's been a great show so far, man. Having Brent on in the first hour was a particular honor. I spoke to him before the show, and he said he was just getting lit up with invitations to go on to different shows, and he's turned them all down. And you know, a lot of these, I'm thinking, you know, he goes on like NBC, he goes on, you know, major networks and stuff. So he's saying no to them, but said yes to the Censorship Sucks Roundtable Radio Show.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite an honor. It really is quite an honor. I'm sure that's probably the only media event he's doing, you know, at all this week. And it's just my honor, man. I'm so happy I know him and have such a good, you know, friendship with him over, what has it been now? 4 years? You know, once a month for like 4 years he's been coming on.
Well, hopefully he knows there's no ulterior motives, like to try to get something sensational out of him, like most of the talking heads do. They want to have some sort of sensational story, you know, some sort of, you know, something shocking to put as a, you know, title for the video or whatever. or podcast.
Yeah. I just, again, he's been coming on here for so long. It's not like I'm going to throw anything at him that he's not going to see coming from, he's a friend. I'm only here to just support him and give him some time, mind. And, again, I didn't dwell on Charlie with him like we are now. I didn't want to go through like the story I want to cover next about that first dude that was arrested.
Oh, yeah.
Well, everybody that does shows with us and that are all family. So, of course, we got Uncle Brent.
Yeah.
Was in tonight.
But yeah, this guy, Barry, you were about to say something too?
I was just going to say,
anyway,
it's got courage, man. Going in to,
Yeah.
I would call enemy lines, hostile at times, enemy lines, and willing to sort of sit down with these people. I don't know that I have the patience for that. So kudos and so much more power to him, because we definitely need that.
And again, he's stepping right into the belly of the beast next week with a Common Ground campus event that, right? I mean, they know he's part of Human Events.
Mm-hmm.
They know Charlie was a senior, contributor or senior editor there, as is Jack Posobiec.
Mm-hmm.
And, they're going out there. And I don't know, man, I saw Jack Posobiec the other day, real quick, on Piers Morgan with Destiny. Holy crap.
Mm.
What a piece of living human trash Destiny is. And Jack just sat there solemnly, sadly, and just mourned his friend as he listened to this lunatic.
Oh, yeah. Is that the same interview where the one guy said, well, if you didn't want Charlie Kirk killed, you shouldn't have voted for Donald Trump for president?
Yeah, Destiny, exactly.
Yeah, that was
he
offensive. I can't believe the things they're openly saying. And I think they're blind to it. I think they're so deluded and so deranged that they don't understand even what they're saying. And to them, what they're saying makes sense. And to every sane person, it's completely insane. And for whatever reason, they can't see it.
Yeah, and Piers Morgan had him on, which I wouldn't never bring that guy on, but Piers Morgan did. And to his credit, I don't think Piers Morgan intended to do it, but he proved this whole thing about both sides is just lunacy. This is a dude that people are turning into left and right. He's got
how making fair and free and open elections and elect the person we want to elect. I mean, just the absurdity of what this guy said is beyond imagination.
Yeah, but anyway, the dude in Utah, in Orem, who first got arrested. Okay, so what happened? The shooter takes a shot. It hits Charlie. Sadly, he pretty much dies instantly. The shooter then tries to get away. While the shooter's trying to get away, this lunatic, a third guy, a 60-some-year-old dude in, a button-down shirt and plaid pants, or not plaid, but, dress pants, looks like a professor, really. At first, I thought it could very easily be a professor.
Right.
He screams out, I did it, shoot me, and tries to basically get all the cops to converge on him so the shooter can get away. That was his thinking at the time.
Yep.
He might have been in one of these lunacy groups that knew this was coming.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was there prepared to do something like that, to pull the attention away from the shooter and bring it on himself. So he might be an accessory to this thing. At first he said, it wasn't him. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, no, I was just interjecting, saying they're looking into that there's, and believe there is.
Yeah, because it's hard to, on the fly, just think up, hey, I did it. You know what I mean? It's hard to just on the fly, in the flash of the moment, say something like that. You kind of have to think it through ahead of time to go in there and say, hey, if I did that, then all the cops will come on me and I can help my friend get away. But this sick individual.
6 people that were part of the trans community saying Charlie Kirk would be dead by tomorrow or by that time or whatever. By the time before he's finished, he'll be gone.
Pardon me. There was a guy who made a post about a month ahead of time that said, this date, watch your calendar.
Yeah, there's probably foreknowledge.
Yeah.
Or it could just maybe be that they're hoping that. That's a possibility too. I don't rule that out. But as we've seen before, most of these things are very coordinated. And this idea of the gunman is always just going to be up for question, if you ask me, because it never ever makes sense. There's always, generally speaking, of something of this magnitude. And what is it with the snipers on the roof again, right? That's sketchy.
Well, and but it's Charlie Kirk. He doesn't have Secret Service. He's just got bodyguards and whatnot. He's got his, a vest on. But they, can't patrol every roof within, a mile of the place or half a mile. I mean, how far can a sniper, take a kill shot from?
I've heard they did not have money for that kind of security. I heard that's kind of, I don't know if that's true. Brent would probably know better than I would, but I've heard through the that they didn't really have the kind of money to have the proper security that they really need to have at these events. To comb the area, maybe have drones or whatever they need to do.
Yeah, drones is what I'm thinking. Drones. Why not send up a couple drones? But anyway, this sick puppy that did this, they found child porn on his phone. He
suggested that he had porn on his phone. He told them that before. He said, "Hey, I've got porn on my phone." He's telling them. Why would he do that? That's crazy. I'm glad he did, but that's weird too.
Yeah, it's all disgusting, though. I mean, this whole thing from end to end is, I guarantee there are more people involved in this.
Oh, yeah.
And the FBI is actively looking into it right now. They're looking into all these organizations that funded this, the forums, the Reddit groups, these websites that are getting disappeared, but have been archived. They're looking at it all, and they're going to find many more people that knew about this and were involved in it than we know at this current moment. And they pose a threat going forward. These people pose a threat going forward. If they can get momentum behind them and get, 3, 4, 5 more targets in the next couple of months, suddenly everything changes. Big time. And it's open war. I mean, it already is, but yeah, open war on conservatives. On conservative, not politicians, but thinkers, debaters. A Ben Shapiro, he has no power, no political power whatsoever. He just goes out and speaks. And he's on the Turning Point USA bandwagon like crazy right now. He's the number one guy. He wants to go out to campuses and just pick up the ball and run. And more power to him. Of course, they're going to be doing them inside now, not outside, for obvious reasons. But, but this is going to, last week, Barry, I had a very solemn tone about this. I thought people were going to be friggin' scared to death to go do these types of events. And no, that's not happening at all.
Yeah.
It's the opposite.
That's exactly right. No, you're 100% correct. I mean, I knew that was going to be the effect. I've written so many numerous posts over the years. I mean, even 5 years ago, I wrote a post talking about how, martyrdom is probably going to be, it's going to probably happen before we have our ultimate victory. I mean, I can give you a direct quote that I said. I said, I think it's safe to say before the time of our victory comes, there will be a list of martyrs. I pray it's a short list and that lives are not lost. We've already lost enough lives over the last couple of decades. Because to be a martyr, you don't necessarily have to be killed. You can be a martyr just through suffering. You know what I'm saying? And I was praying and I was saying in this post, let's pray that nobody actually has to die. But there's definitely going to be martyrs, I said, because before you have a corrupt government in place that is about to fall, you have the corrupt people that are behind the scenes, the shadow cabal, the deep state, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
They go about in acts of desperation to take out the leaders to try as a last ditch effort to demoralize us and get us to sort of retreat. And generally what happens in those cases is that it backfires on them and we're actually more emboldened. This is kind of an age-old adage, an age-old truth. It's a biblical truth as well. We see with the early Christians that the persecution only grew the numbers of Christians. So under the fire and under the heat, Americans generally, and people in general, just tend to rise up. And that's what we see happening. A fire, man, has been lit and we have been ignited and there's no turning back. What they did, and Erica Kirk, she talked about this. She said the evildoers is what she called them, have no idea what they've done and how great the movement's going to be now.
Yeah, it is. It's really going to take off from here. And I'll tell you this, I want to just I've got a bunch of clips here, and I want to get back to this two-side stuff because it's vile what the left is trying to do. You know, Jimmy Kimmel, goodbye, good riddance. You're coming out and lying to America about what's going on out there. This is a clip from C-SPAN of Eric Schmidt, is it? Sorry. Yeah, Eric Schmidt is a senator from Missouri, and let's just play it.
We've heard years of the left, their loudest voices calling anyone on the right extremists, MAGA Republicans, fascists, Nazis, an existential threat to democracy. Check yourself. And don't give me this both sides bullshit. Mr. Director, I want to ask you. Tell me if each one of the following perpetrators or alleged perpetrators were acting from a left-wing or right-wing political violence. The man who tried to kill Republican congressman at the congressional baseball practice, nearly killing House Majority Leader Steve Scalise, left-wing or right-wing violence?
Sir, I believe it was a left-wing ideology.
Okay. Burn down cities during the Summer of Love in the George Floyd riots, left-wing violence or right-wing violence?
Sir, I'll rely on you on these. I don't have off the top of my head.
Okay, left wing. The Waukesha Christmas Parade massacre, left wing or right wing violence? Left wing. The Lee Zeldin stabbing attempt, left wing or right wing? Left wing. The Covenant school shooting in Nashville, left wing or right wing? Left wing. The Butler, Pennsylvania assassination attempt on President Trump, left wing or right wing? Left wing. The Trump International West Palm Beach assassination attempt, left wing. The Abundant Life Christian school shooting, left wing. The United Care CEO's murder, left wing. Tesla's burned, keyed, damaged, firebombed, left wing, left wing. The murders at the Israeli embassy, left wing. The ICE facilities firebombed, left wing. The Minnesota Catholic school shooting, left wing. The anti-white Charlotte and North Carolina stabbing, left wing. The attempted Utah News State firebombing, left wing. And now, of course, the culmination of this vile trend, a left-wing assassination of Charlie Kirk. So don't give me this both sides. If we want to get to unity, let's be honest. Let's be honest. Free speech, yes. Political violence, no. But let's be honest.
Let's be honest. I love how he almost called him President Kirk.
Well, he was the president of Turning Point.
Yeah. But he was, honestly, if he had...
That maybe why they tried to take him out, because he's potential presidency. He could have been president pretty soon. He's 31, was 31. Yeah. So it wouldn't what's the age to be president?
35.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean.
Before he could run.
Yeah, he couldn't do it this next time, I don't think, but the next time after that, boom, good to go. And boy, what a president he would have made.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah. Well, we need people with backbone. And I see Charlie is a person with real backbone. And I think we need more of that. You know, people that'll actually stand up for what they believe in. And do it peacefully. Like he, you know, I mean, that's we're not like the left, you know. We don't want to stoop. Most of us don't even have that in us, right? That's just, I mean, I'm 110%, you know, peaceful. And that's just my path. I don't even like the idea of violence. I don't even like watching like boxing. It's almost too violent. So I'm just a peaceful dude. You know what I'm saying? And I think that most things can be solved through civil discourse. That's why they don't want to have it, because they don't want to solve anything. They want to burn it all down and bring in their dystopian, great reset, liberal world order, call it what you will, but it ain't America.
Yeah, and you know what? I could move on to some of the stuff from Kash Patel's testimony today, you know, but I think I'm just going to keep going down this road. Here's a clip from Fox News Live with Andy Ngo. Again, Andy Ngo from Post Millennial, which is a part of the...
What needs to be done is their propaganda and lies has to be exposed. I hope that it's been eye-opening for the public to see the bloodlust that exists, not just on the fringe left, obviously, but also on the mainstream left in the aftermath of this assassination. It is a cancer that exists on the left and it's mainstream. And there's some data to back that up. Just overnight, a mural for Charlie Kirk in Pensacola, Florida, was vandalized with Antifa propaganda on it, and some of the messages that left on it were the exact messages from what was engraved on the rifle cartridges that were used in the attack. So this is the mindset we're dealing with. It is, I will call it a death cult. They worship death. They want their targets killed. And they've been supported by a huge apparatus. I'm not just talking about the Black Bloc militants who are on the streets as acting as thugs, carrying out arson attacks and assaulting people. I'm talking about politicians who spread their propaganda and lies, NGOs, nonprofit groups, elected officials, and many in the Democrat Party, and of course many journalists. We've seen many disgusting lies spread in the last few days in the world media suggesting somehow that this accused gunman was a far-right Christian nationalist inspired by MAGA.
Yeah, there's a big disinformation campaign underway by the legacy media to both sides of the issue and raise questions about this assassin's left-wing credentials.
And it's all garbage. It's all garbage.
Yep. Imagine how desperate they are, CS. I mean, that they know that they're losing so badly and so poorly that they've got to literally make up stuff in the hopes that they can just try to keep the people that are on their side with them, because people are leaving the Democrat Party still in droves. There are countless videos on X saying, I'm leaving the Democrat Party over this nonsense, this violent tendency, this violent nature of the Democrat Party. I'm gone. I'm never voting Democrat again. So the walk away movement is still in progress.
Yeah. How many of them will come over to the MAGA side, and how many will say, okay, Democrat Socialists of America is my new home? Right.
Yeah, that's kind of frightening, but that party kind of has to merge though, right? There's no real, I mean, the Democrat Party kind of is that, but it's still kind of divided between the old schoolers and the new schoolers.
Yeah. We had Ilhan Omar come out the other day, pretty much gleeful over Charlie Kirk's murder. Said all kinds of vile both sides isms about how everyone is really coming after the left, even though we just heard the list of all the crap that's gone down against the right in America. Well, you know, I mean, the Charlotte one, that wasn't necessarily against the right. That was, the girl was probably very leftist until the second she realized she was just stabbed to death on a bus. And in her last seconds of life, she's like, wow, Trump was right. You know, I mean, we've had how many of those over the years of people who just, you know, have become, you know, well known for being massacred by illegals who said, you know, Trump's a bigot and I'm safe. I can go jog down this river in the back of my house and I'll be perfectly fine. And then they're dead. And in those last moments, their last thoughts were, wow, Trump was right.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's no question that the left has a pretty big swath of people that are totally fine with violence as a means to an end. There's this Libs of TikTok showed this thing. It was a banner that they had, and it said, "Be gay, do crime." Well, violence is crime. So are they suggesting violence? It says that Asheville's Firestorm Anarchist Bookstore sponsors LGBTQP militias open call for violence. Local reporter and Libs of TikTok expose, will the APD investigate? You know, I think these kinds of things need to be investigated. If you're calling to go out and do crime or violence, yeah, I would be concerned, because if you wait and do nothing about it, it may be too late.
Investigate all you want. If you don't have prosecutors that are going to prosecute, then what good is it to investigate it, right? A lot of these cops know it's not worth, you know, it's not worth my time. Like Nigel Farage, his whole thing, hey, man, people are sending me death threats left and right. You're arresting 30 people a day in England for online tweets. Maybe these people should be looked at too. No, we don't have the time for that. Why? Well, because it's going to go to the courts and the courts are going to throw it out because you are the victim, sir. Because you're on the wrong side of the aisle. It's a two-tiered system.
I mean, there's nothing more offensive than saying, I'm going to kill you. That's, I mean, that's not just an offense. That's a threat. And yet you could say something like, I don't know, I think there's two genders. Next thing you know, they're coming down and cuffing you and putting you in jail. You know, that's insane, dude. That's the kind of stuff that's got us. And that's why you have those millions of people in the UK. Peaceful protesting. Part of the reason is because they know that madness is going to take over if they don't stand up and start speaking out.
Yeah, and I love Brent's take on that. Is like, you know, hey, maybe they're just pissed off that, like, it's a socialist country and they can't get their stuff, right? Why are you giving my stuff to somebody else?
Yeah, well, I mean,
I think it goes deeper than that, but it was an interesting take from him.
I like the way that Brent looks at things from a different angle. It gives us something to chew on, which you know, I don't always agree with, and probably most of the time don't on some of this more quirky stuff. But hey, I'm all for him putting those ideas out there because, you know, it gets you thinking, it gets you wondering, like, what. It also makes you double check, like, hey, before you make an assessment, look at the situation and make sure that your assessment is correct. So I appreciate what he brings to the table in that regard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's great. It's awesome having him around, and God, I'm so ticked off about what happened a week ago today, folks. 1 week ago today, Charlie lost his life.
Yeah,
and it's just devastating.
I think it hurts more. We were talking about that before the show because, you know, when it first happened, I felt numb. I felt nothing, you know, because I was in I was in total shock. I couldn't believe it because you look at this guy and you're thinking this guy's going to live for a long time. He's full of life, full of energy. You know what I'm saying? He's just the last person that you would think would die. He's healthy, you know. He probably exercises, eats well, takes care of himself. He's, you know, so you're like, this guy's going to be around for a long time. And then to see somebody just senselessly murder him and in that fashion, you know, in order to demoralize and make sure that everybody sees it, right? I mean, that's why you have assassins do things on national television. And it may not have been nationally televised, but it eventually goes national through Facebook, through Twitter, through all the different social media venues.
Mm-hmm. And Charlie said a while back that, you know, somebody asked him, hey, freedom, you know, the Second Amendment is great and all, but what about the people who just die from gun violence? And it's like, well, you know, what about the people that protect themselves? What about the thousands and thousands of instances where, you know, someone breaks into your house and you have a gun and thank God you've got 3 kids and, you know, a wife, and this guy's coming in there with this, you know, butcher knife or, you know, who knows, a Japanese sword, a gun, whatever. You need to defend yourself. And that's the whole thing about the Second Amendment. It's just your simple right to be able to defend yourself. When shit goes down, you need to be able to defend yourself. And that's what the Second Amendment is basically about, is I have a right to my life. And if somebody wants to break into my home in the middle of the night and try to kill me over my stuff, I can kill them. I can stop them dead in their tracks and defend my life. Right? Mm-hmm. And so he said that once, you know, that, hey, there's going to be some people that die. And now the left is picking that up and saying, because he said that, it's okay he died. It's okay he died. He said that, you know, hey, some people are going to die along the way when there's guns out there. But this was a deliberate murder, man. It wasn't some accident.
Are you talking
about? It was
a
deliberate murder.
When Charlie Kirk said that because of freedoms, you know, some people die or whatever. Is that?
Yeah, it's like he was comparing it in a way to like cars, and we're over time right now, so we got to be really quick. But like, you know, cars, they get you around quick, but yeah, a lot of people die, and it's a shame.
Exactly.
You know, but are we going to ban cars tomorrow?
Well,
we are completely out of time. Folks, thanks so much for listening. The Censorship Sucks Roundtable Radio Show. Stay tuned. There's a lot more from Dragus Productions coming up right after this.
Thanks, guys.
Sorry, bro.
Great show.
Sorry.
Yeah.
No, I know.
Sorry, man.
All right.
I rambled on there at the end, and all of a sudden we were just out of time.
Yeah.
Well, there was one thing I wanted to segue to that
I'm going to take and go over and get Jack set up, and I will talk to you guys later on. All right?
He's going to kill this room, so I'll call you directly, okay, Barry?
There you go.
I want you to finish your sentence.
All right. I got to. Yeah. And we'll get Jack Carey up and about with Paranormal Intelligence Agency. Radio Show. Let me get Jack in here. There he is. Do 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 do. Hello, Jack. How you doing?
Good. Let's see here. See if I can turn on the camera. There we go.
There you go. Awesome job.
How's it going?
It's going really good. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Man, I like that background, especially with that shirt you got on. Man, it looks so cool.
Awesome. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
kind of space. It's spacey, dude.
Yeah, yeah. What do you got for us tonight?
Tonight is kind of a round table of myself and topics. So we're going to be talking about a lot of WebBot updates, some Cryptid Corner stuff, just talking about our work with Dr. Christopher Dyer, and we're going to come roundabout from paranormal news with 3i Atlas all the way to the ancient history of Mars. So
Cool, yeah, because you talked about the Mars settlement before.
yeah, I did. So, and it's interesting because the new trajectory of 3i Atlas is showing it's headed for Mars. So
Oh.
pretty cool stuff.
It's the new resupply ship. We're
It
being
is.
just to let you know, we're being restreamed by Roger Hansen, The Great Conspiracy, and also MC Dirty Work.
Nice.
Appreciate all
Thank
you fellas out there doing this. And I'm not sure
Thank
if
you, Mr.
DK is restreaming us or not. He may be. I know he's in the D Live chat.
Sweet, sweet.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he said and him. DK in the house. Oh yeah.
Did you hear the late breaking news?
Which one?
Jimmy Kimmel has been canceled.
Yeah. John did probably a good 20 minutes about that.
I'll be talking about it too because that is
Cool.
good stuff right there.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, and we were talking too about, you know, he probably just reads the lines because he gets paid, you know. Because I remember when Jimmy was funny, you know, back in the day where he did the show called Man Show.